Well, welcome back, friends, to the Polish Podcast. We hope you're enjoying our conversation that we're having today with Leah Brown. And now it's time to add a dash of spontaneity and a sprinkle of fun to the show. It's time for Ask Me Anything. Leah, this is how Ask Me Anything works. It's a chance for us to kind of peel back the layers, get to know the woman behind the work and the quirks behind your expertise. And we've curated a list of a few questions for you, and we're just going to follow our curiosity and know more about you. Are you ready?
Ready. Let's go.
All right. Question 1. Given the emotional demands of your profession, being in the mental health profession, how do you prioritize self-care in your own life?
So a lot of times we think of self-care as, I'm going to go get my nails done or day at the spa or going for a hike or something like that. Maybe if it's just taking a bath. Those are all great things. I think one of the things that I do that's a little bit beyond those kind of surfacey things that we tend to think about is I try to manage my schedule with the things that I know that are going to take more energy so that I don't do a bunch of really, in my practice, I do a range of appointment lengths. And so I'll do 4-hour appointments, and I don't ever schedule 2 4-hour appointments on the same day.
And, oh my goodness. Yeah,
just things like that of looking at what manages my energy the best. And sometimes it's, I know I have a lot going on that one day. And so I give myself an office day or something like that so that I can kind of keep up with stuff. I personally am a great optimist. And so I usually try to do more than I probably should. But being able to know that about myself, the things we need to be curious about ourselves on too, right?
Yes, exactly. I'm listening, I'm leaning in.
But trying to schedule my meetings and the things that I'm doing in a way that is mindful of the other things going on in my life, the things going on professionally, the things going on with my kids, giving myself, if I know I'm going to take a trip, then giving myself some time before and after the trip for recovery instead of saying, oh, I'm back and trying to get right back into it. That's what I do for myself to try to manage and self-care myself.
I love that. And I think you're speaking truth into all of us too. I think we're all optimists when it comes to our time.
Yes.
And then we realize, this takes a lot more or drains me a lot more. So I love that. I love that you do that. And that's encouraging to hear. We're going to have to practice some of that for sure. Look at what fills us up.
That's right.
So, yes. So question 2, how have you managed career advancement while being a working mom? I know we have a lot of working moms that listen to this show, and I'm curious, that's just the word of the day. What challenges have you encountered along the way as your career has advanced and you've navigated that?
So I'm in an unusual spot in that I'm a solopreneur. I know I'm not the only one, but I started kind of later in life. I started my private practice in January 2020, before everything blew up. And yes. And so, that was a really odd year. But then I've been kind of building. In some ways, I still feel like my practice is my side business. Like I'm trying to adjust my thinking that it's not just my side business anymore, but it's been a building process. And so some of the challenges with being a working mom is really trying to balance out my energy and my time. Because I do have 4 kids at home, and my oldest at home is a senior in high school. And so that's a whole nother thing in and of itself. My first girl that's graduating. And I mean, even things like getting senior pictures was way different with my boys than with her.
I'm taking notes. I got 2 boys and a girl. So yeah.
And I know it's not only boy girl, but just with my family, It was totally that way.
Absolutely.
So, and I loved it because it was a new experience for me too, to do it with her. And so just as I'm trying to balance my time and my energy has been the biggest struggle for me as a working mom. And so that I have energy for my clients that I'm supposed to have, and I have the energy I'm supposed to have for my kids and for my husband.
Yep.
So, and I think that goes back to the self-care too, is being able to look at what really another bank account illustration, but what am I doing that's making those deposits? Cause I feel like it is more rewarding for me to feel like I had a great session and that I helped someone, that feels like an encapsulated reward, right? It's a done product. With being a mom, it never is like that. It's like you have this, yay, high five, I did great right here.
Yes.
And then like 5 minutes later, I didn't do what I did. I was not my best self then.
Well, there's a lot of grace for that. I hear you.
Yeah.
And it can be a thankless job sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and sometimes, and it's not even necessarily the kids. It's just me.
Right.
And me feeling like I didn't put out my best self in that moment, that I was frustrated. Right. And so I feel like that's my biggest struggle. And what I am trying to do about it is to balance my energy, and getting the type of rest that's good for me at each section of time, which I talked about rest a few times in my podcast too. And being able to look at what are the different types of rest that we need, because it's not just sleep.
Well, I hear you on the rest piece. Rest is important, and it is in many different facets of our life, right? Yeah. So, so that's a good word for all of us, a good example for us, to just, working moms, you're doing all right. You're doing all right. That's right. And just do the next right thing to fill your tank, for sure. Okay, our final question for this segment, question 3. Can you share a passion or an interest or a hobby that might surprise people who know you?
Ooh. I used to, and I would like to again, when I can make some more margin in my time. I used to refinish furniture and loved it. That was so fun. Yes. And it's satisfying to take something and then to remake it to look like something else. That is so much fun.
Wow. I'm impressed, Leah. I had no idea.
Don't be too impressed. It's not like it's not as good as like the videos that you see on social media where it's like, oh my gosh, I never would have even seen that would come out of that. It's not like that, but a fresh coat of paint or a stain or, it's a lot of fun.
Well, you know what? Whatever floats your boat, Leah, I'm still impressed. I do not share that passion, so I have mucho respect for those who do have that, because it is a craft, it is an art, no matter what level you're at, in my opinion. So,
thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing these little tidbits of your life with us, Leah. And here's the thing, friends, we want you to be a part of the conversation. We want your burning questions, your curious musings, and your wild wonderings about our guests. So if there's something you've just always wanted to ask, now is your chance. If you want to learn more, you can go to polishnetwork.org and go to our podcast landing page to learn more. Send in your questions today.